Hello, my loves. Another impromptu live. I'm just going to take a moment and share this into my group. Oops, let's not bring it. So when you're hopping on, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're catching the replay, do the same. Talk to me. I talk back. All right, let me put this over here. Let me know where you're watching from. There we go. Now we can be in all the places. We can be in all the places. Hello, hi. So I have we're going to talk about the energy a little bit. So before I get going into that, I want you guys to share with me what you've been feeling, because it's a precursor to what's coming. So what have you been experiencing? What have you been feeling in your energy? How has your reality been? Just kind of share with me where you are. Maybe there's a little nugget that I can share to help you navigate it, whether it's Ascension Symptoms or just the things that are changing rapidly in your life and consciousness. Like, this is your kind of opportunity. I felt guided to make this public and not in my membership. So I figured I would hop on and see who it's really meant for. Because in my YouTube membership, I've been trying to be as much of a support as I can for what we're all going through and experiencing. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. So I can tell you that through my words today, there will be an activation, and I can feel it already beginning to happen. So when you watch this, you may get tired or feel hot or feel tingles, or just recognize that there's energy being transmitted as I talk, and you will feel that. So I'm actually going to take this off, because when I channel frequencies, I get super, super hot. So I'm just going to take this off. So I talked about this more, and I will continue to talk about this more in my membership, but what I want to share with you guys today is something that I've mentioned prior, that the rest of February is going to be pretty intense. Again, intense doesn't mean a bad thing, but we have already started over this past week kind of feeling the precursor energy of purging. So whether you've been purging your house, or purging your body, or purging relationships, or seeing what needs to be purged, where you've been heavy, where things have been in that energy, it's kind of been, we've been starting the process of becoming aware of it. At least I have anyway, and a lot of other people that I communicate with. As we come into this full moon next Wednesday in Leo, it's going to be highlighting the north and south nodes. This is an eclipse activation. It really is an eclipse activation. You will feel it like an eclipse, depending on your energy and what's going on in your life. Everybody's going to experience it in their own way. But this really is that redirection I was talking about for February, and how February really is going to be an intense month of kind of, I call it table flipping energy. In the moments, whatever you are, things that come up, whether it's relationship endings, job endings, new beginnings, new relationships, new opportunities, new business ventures, new friendships, there's going to be a loss and a gain all at the same time. And it's really going to be about your perspective and how you're seeing it, and how tightly you're holding on to those expectations of how you thought it was supposed to look and how it was supposed to go. And that's really the key here. So if, we'll talk about some of the Ascension symptoms that people can feel, but the big theme that they really wanted me to share today was, and I've shared this a few times over the last week, but we have to keep driving it home, because it reaches different people and it reaches you at a different level each time you hear it. It really is about letting go of control and walking in faith and uncertainty and just going with it. It's embracing what is. And oftentimes we are afraid to embrace what is, or acceptance. That's really what it is. It's acceptance. We don't want to accept what is, because we don't We're not ready at some level to feel the grief of letting our expectation go, letting what we thought we knew go, letting go of what we thought we wanted or how it was supposed to look. It's really letting go of those ego aspects. And, this is a perfect time. My group in my Facebook group voted for Reclamation to be the Valentine's Day sale. And so right now until tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern time, you can get it for $356 off. So if you're into integration, if you're wanting to work with those parts of yourself, it's a good opportunity to pick up a course to support yourself. I know yesterday a couple people reached out to me. They were having issues with the code. It's code heart. But the sites must have had some kind of glitch. It seems to be corrected itself. But anyway, so know that that's a resource that's available to you if you feel called to it. But it really is going to be about becoming aware of those other aspects of self that are showing up, because that's what the ego is designed to do. It's designed to go dig through the algorithm of the past to protect you from experiencing pain in the future. The ego doesn't realize that the energy can feel the same even though the circumstances are different. And so it is our job to become our own mother and father and really step into that loving, nurturing, guiding role of integration of those other aspects of self, and really looking at ourselves in the mirror and saying, okay, why am I so afraid of this? Why am I holding on to this? Why am I in stress? Why am I in fear? Why am I in worry? Why am I freaking out or feeling the resistance? Why am I disassociating? Why am I medicating? Why am I wanting to check out, right? Whatever it is that you are doing, it's really becoming aware of self, your habits, and choosing to do something different to break the cycle. So the more adaptable you can be over the next 2 weeks, especially next week as this really starts, the intense activation happens, the more adaptable you can be, the more you can, when something comes your way, whether it's good or bad, because even with the good things, it can scare us, right? It can bring on that intensity of unknown and uncertainty and excitement. And oh my God, am I good enough? And oh my God, am I capable enough? So it's not necessarily just about focusing on what could go wrong, but what could go right, and just letting all of that go and being like, okay, whatever shows up, I'm going to be adaptable. I'm going to flow like water. I'm going to allow myself to just go, okay, this is what is. What are my choices? Do I want to fight with this? Do I want to be in resistance to this? Or do I want to accept what is, and see what it has to offer me, see what direction is now taking me? Because again, when the nodes change, this is a destiny. This is a destiny marker where we are literally being shifted. And not to get into astrology, but this is an important thing. I consider time and astrology kind of the same thing. They're markers for experience. It's a point where certain energies are awakened inside of us as a way of kind of bumping us back onto the path or back into the direction of what our soul wanted to experience. Because so many people get stuck in the human, get stuck in the earthly areas. And it's like, yes, you're here to have an experience and you should enjoy it. But ascension is what we came for. We came to descend into the density while our human self ascends up. So what is ascension? It is embodying our light, turning our carbon-based density, our generational and karmic programming into crystalline energy, making space to become more aware of self so that we can have a human experience through a higher lens of perception and actually enjoy the earth game. This is what integration does for you. And I'm living proof. My life is from a human perspective, is a shit show right now on many levels, but I have had the most joy and most peace and most patience and less trigger and more acceptance than I've ever had in my life. Why? Because my heart is open more than it ever has been. I am working every day to integrate those higher frequencies and create that new solid stability, that new foundation of this frequency. And that is through integration work. And that's why I was so blown away that Reclamation was the course that was chosen, because if you're new to parts work or integrating aspects of yourself that you feel you keep looping, I manifest money to manifest more bills. I manifest love to only manifest he's with somebody else or she's with someone else. Like I go 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. You are being slingshotted over and over again because you're missing something, right? You got to start integrating these pieces. It's not a bad thing. So if that's something that you called for, take advantage of the sale while it's here. So let me put my glasses on and see what you guys are experiencing and what you're feeling. And we'll have some conversation. Hi, TikTok. Yes, I am a medium, but we're not doing readings today. From Pennsylvania. I felt slightly anxious. I'm assuming you're meaning you had anxiety yesterday for the first time in a very long time. Being outside, it felt like I had to do with the change of season, but like a fast change. So, that's interesting because what's really happening, and I've talked about this for well over a year now, is, the planet as a planet, right, as a collective, has increased very substantially as we've gone over the last year. Like the frequency of the planet has, and what that means is the amount of photonic light we are processing every month, every day, I should say, every hour, every day, the amount of photonic light has increased. So when I say the frequency of the planet has increased, that's what I mean. So that means that each of us now are processing more information per hour than we ever were before. That's what that means. And the planet is as well. So what that feels like is more energy, information. Everything is energy. My coffee cup is energy. This crystal is energy. This highlighter is energy. The chair I'm sitting on is energy. So we really are in an abundance place, right? This is all energy turned into form, manifested into form. So when the frequency of the planet increases, that means that our frequency has the opportunity to also expand and increase. Again, more energy, aka photonic light, more information is available for us to process per hour. That is going to feel highly anxious. It's going to feel like, holy shit, what's going on? Your heart might race. You may go out in public and feel more. And this is, again, why I created things like the Energy Matrix or other programs where I teach you how to manage your energy and your aura. Where we're going, if you don't know how to manage your energy and your auric field, when you don't know how to read your energy field, it's going to be difficult. It just is. So you have to start to learn those skills and really embody them. It was something that I learned the hard way. And so I teach it not just from a channeled perspective, but I also bring in my own personal experience with how that information helped me. And that's important. That's an important thing to add in. So let me come back to some basic information of anxiety is just an abundance of energy. And all you have to do is call it out. Oh, I feel a lot of energy around me right now. There is a lot of energy moving through me or around me. Call it out. Take responsibility for your state of being. Instead of looking at what's causing me to feel this way, nothing is. There's just an abundance of energy. And you get to call it out and say, oh, it's here. It doesn't mean that it's about me or that I've done something wrong or someone's doing something to me. It just means that now I'm aware of it. I can choose what I do with it. And this is where we start to enter into discernment. So just start with the basics when you feel that way and just call it out and come into the present moment and be discerning. Don't allow the energy to take you into some rabbit hole because your ego is going, oh my God, the last time she felt this way, 3 years ago, let's do this because it may cause her to feel this. And when she feels that, she's a shit show. So you have to start taking ownerships of these aspects of self that show up that aren't always serving you. I have ugly high blood pressure. Hi from Germany. Franny from Germany. I am German, not first generation though. Well, think about the symbolism of high blood pressure, right? Your heart is beating at at a faster rate of speed. There's more pressure built up in your system. So it's really going to be about you managing your energy, looking about what you put into your body. So I talked about this in my membership, but it's an important piece is detoxing your system. If you're not already eating a clean diet, if you're not already doing things to manage what you are ingesting, whether that's socially, on TV, on social media, in food, people in your environment, this week is going to be important for you to be as mindful as possible, eating high vibrational, clean food, not processed stuff, drinking extra lemon water. Lemon water really helps to kind of detox the free radicals in the blood. It helps to cleanse the organs. It helps to help the liver function better, and your liver is the great filter of your whole entire body. Really be mindful of what you're listening to, what you're doing, and being more grounded. So letting go of the pressure of go, 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 coming back into your body, slowing down. But also knowing that sometimes our body has to go through a regulation phase. So as the frequency on the planet increases and more photonic light comes in, then we have to really work more diligently about being grounded. And grounded means being in your body. It's nothing to do with the earth. It's about being grounded in your body, being present, feeling your body, being aware of the sensations in your body and how it feels at any given moment, being present. That's what being grounded means. I am well. Thank you for asking. I hope you are too. Watching from Canada. I support Canada. I'm so grateful for what the truckers are doing right now. The moon just the other day was sitting just under the Pleiades. And wow, did I get some major visions. Oh, that's awesome. I love the Pleiades. So Brandon says, I've noticed that a great trigger within myself has been the moment when I feel like or am maybe told directly, I don't believe it you. That doesn't sound real. It makes sense. Been hard to shake, like deep down, I do know my truth. You know, this is a great, God, I'm glad you said that. This is a great opportunity because those kinds of things are going to be up. Are you sure you believe in you? And that's the thing, right? It doesn't take away that little zing that when somebody questions you, but that's just it. When we look at wounds of abandonment or rejection or denial, it's because when we spoke our truth or we said something as a child, it was rejected, it was denied, it was told to get our head out of the clouds. We were told that wasn't real. And I was guilty of this as a parent with my first child. So this is programming that we have. And this isn't, when that comes up, it's an opportunity for you to reparent yourself and say, well, am I going to allow their truth to replace my truth to be accepted? Or am I just going to recognize, hey, that's cool that you believe something different and that whatever. And you don't have to have this conversation out loud. You can just be like, okay, that's all right. It's not fighting with them. It's not being defensive about it. It's just being like, that's okay if you don't agree or you don't believe it. Cool. Like, I'm not here to prove it to you. If they're really interested, it'll come back around for them again, right? We don't want to waste our time and energy trying to make somebody see something that they're not ready to become aware of. I have a lot of people in my life who are not at my level of awareness. And they're really set in their beliefs on certain things. And I know because I used to be them. I used to be set in those beliefs. But I'm somebody who enjoys the expansion, who enjoys having my beliefs crushed to new ones opening up. And so I just look and I notice that means that they have a lot of fear in them, right? They're afraid of what they will see, experience, feel, of that uncertainty, of that unknown. And so they feel more comfortable in their cage, right? That's why I say comfort is a cage. They feel like, hey, these beliefs make me feel amazing and powerful and like I have sturdy foundation, and that's where they're going to stay. So it's just you recognizing externally, this is where they are and this is where I am. neither is right or wrong, neither is higher or less than the other. It's just the space of evolution that they are in currently and that they may stay in. Not all of us, shockingly, I know this is going to be shocking to hear, at least I think for some people, not all of us came to go fully into the higher frequencies and embody the higher frequencies. Some of us are choosing to stay and play in the lower frequencies, in the density, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a choice that everybody gets to make. So when we have those moments of trigger, it's a moment where you get to accept yourself, where you get to have your own back, where you get to say, well, I believe you. It's talking to yourself in that way. I believe you. I believe in you. And it's okay that they don't see it. It's okay that they don't. And every time that you choose you and you don't choose somebody else's belief or allow that crack of doubt to be busted open, you seal that energy even more. You integrate a piece of yourself even more. So this is part of that integration work, right? When we're walking on the new foundation, on the new frequency, like I said the other day, you're going to find potholes, you're going to find cracks in that foundation because it's new. You are not used to it. You don't know. You haven't like sealed it. You haven't made it sturdy yet because it's literally building a new reality. And so when you find those cracks, like those kinds of doubts, or you find the potholes where you fall into the density, again, these are moments of integration where we get to look at, oh, there's still a little twinge of a part of me that is doubting myself. Let me have my back. Let me accept that version of me. Let me not judge myself. Let me not judge that person who's thinking that. Judgment is separation. Spirit has said this to me over and over for the last 6 months. Judgment is fear. Judgment is separation. So look at where you're judging yourself still. Look at where you're judging others. It has something to tell you. There's a message there for you. You care so much because you want other people to value what you have to say and value who you are as a human, even if you don't agree. That's why we care, because we come from a place of unconditional love. And unconditional love doesn't judge. This is why I get so, my human self gets so irritated with people who are super religious and who come on to like these lives and judge people who are speaking with spirit. And it's like, I'm pretty sure that nowhere was Jesus judging anybody or any other spiritual leader. So, but again, we forget that religion was created as a means of control. It was created as a way of government, honestly. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Salime. Yeah, that's another. Okay, so Brandon he has a lot of good stuff to say today. For months now, he's barely been able to eat, especially during the day. I went through that. It was only a couple of days ago. I've actually spent the last 3 days eating more than I've ever eaten before because I have been the same way. I went through years of that, actually. So when we have a lot to digest and break down, so if you have a lot that your body is working to break down, so if you're alchemizing, and it doesn't mean that your life has to be falling apart, it doesn't mean you have to be emotional, but we go through periods where our body has to break down dense stuff. Think about what I said in the beginning. Ascension is the process of us embodying our light and alchemizing our carbon-based density, turning carbon into crystalline. It's like turning coal into the diamond, right? That takes a lot of power, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of function in our body to break down the density that's in our organs, that's in our bones, that's in our tissues. And so when we do that, the body does not want heavy food that it needs to digest and that it needs to break down to digest. So when we go through those periods where we're not eating a lot, just honoring that, you can do smoothies or juices, making sure you're at least getting, water, lemon water, minerals, supporting yourself, being in the sun. Sun is food. So getting your sunlight, being in nature, allowing the earth to feed you. it's just recognizing. So good. I'm glad that you've been honoring your intuition and allowing that. Yeah, being hungry at night is, well, usually if you're getting to that point, you probably should have been asleep at that point. So now I think a lot of times hunger comes out of boredom, but your body's opening up to it to digest more. So just be aware of it. You're very welcome. So with the Ascension Symptoms, I posted a few days ago, and let me see if TikTok has any questions before I move on. Hello from Michigan. I was just there last year. You have no energy. Okay, that is another good one. So again, kind of like what I said with Brandon with the food, having no energy is another sign that your body is trying to alchemize and break down a lot of stuff. And when we're exhausted, that means we need to rest. Doesn't mean you're necessarily going to sleep, because I can tell you I wasn't sleeping. When I did sleep, I would sleep good, but getting to sleep was a whole nother issue. But when we need to rest, it means we just need to lay down. So I call my bed my charging portal. I always have. Because it's where I can still do things, and it literally feels like I'm plugged into source. So it's just me when you're resting and you feel exhausted or tired or have no energy. It's telling you that your body needs, what your body needs from you is for you to rest. So rest isn't just sitting still or laying down. If you're laying down or watching TV or reading or like laying in nature, but in your head, you're fighting with yourself because you think that you should be doing all these other things to be a responsible adult, that's not resting. If you're laying in your bed scrolling on TikTok or Facebook, that's not resting. You need stillness. You need, like right now I have shamanic flutes playing. You need serene environments. You need moments of where you can either be in stillness or just peace and quiet. You can be in nature, walking in nature. You can be listening to high vibe things, but your body really is saying, I just need you to get out of your head and to not waste your energy. Just find a peaceful place to chill and be and allow for what's happening to happen. Let your body go through, because as I mentioned with some of these other people, sometimes our body has to go through a transitional phase as we move into a new frequency. Your body has to adjust. The same way when we have a major air pressure change in weather, this is the great metaphor they're bringing. When there's a pressure change in the weather, we will feel that pressure change inside of us because we are literally the universe within a universe. So we have to kind of, our pressure inside of us, our realignment has to shift as well. And sometimes that takes a little bit longer, depending on your state of being, depending upon how you feed yourself, depending upon how you work with your nervous system. So nothing is right or wrong, good or bad. It is literally, your body is speaking to you. Sensations equal information. What is your body trying to tell you? And instead of listening to societal or generational programming that says we have to move to be busy, to be successful, to be responsible, that laying around and resting is lazy, you have to choose to rewire that programming in those moments and say, no, I need to rest. I swear to God, I make more money when I do hardly anything. Salime says she's exhausted and tired is what she's going through as well. Yeah, and you know, here's the thing about love, and something something I just actually, I think I forget sometimes where I channel things, so forgive me if I get this wrong, but I think it was in one of the newest Energy Matrix modules that they got. But the Andromedans were talking about how we have such a wide range of love frequencies that we can experience. So the comment was, unconditional love involves absolutely no judgment. And that's true. But this is the only planet in the only universe where we have this range of frequency. And so we have a wider range of love frequencies that we can experience, the same way we have a wider range of denser frequencies to experience. Because when you get it up into space, it's not that duality doesn't exist, it's that there become shades of gray because there's less separation. It's not that Earth is the only place that we experience separation. It's just that when we come here, we have such a vast range of duality. We have stark black and white. We have stark right or wrong, good or bad, light or dark. And that's what we descended into. So as we ascend up and we embody more light ourselves, we realize, oh, it's actually about living in totality. It's about exploring the shades of gray and not so much being in the stark contrast of the human programming, you know? So we have such a wide range of love here that we can experience love in conditional ways as well as the way that we are when we're non-physical, which is there's no judgment. Unconditional is no judgment. That doesn't mean when you unconditionally love somebody and you're not judging them that you're allowing them to treat you like garbage or choosing them in your life. You can unconditionally love somebody and not judge them and still choose to not have them in your life. It's important. That's awesome, Brandon. That's awesome. So Ascension Symptoms, I mentioned in a Facebook post. I talked a little bit about this, and that is, it's kind of a highly inflammatory time. So things you have the potential to experience. If you don't experience them, God, don't go looking for it. Whatever you're experiencing is what your body is going through, and just try to release judgment and kind of adapt your environment to it. But some of the things that you can potentially experience, we've already talked about: exhaustion, appetite changes, inflammation. So inflammation is going to show up with higher blood pressure. It's going to show up more feeling more anxious, more pressure in general. You can have more bloating. You can have a harder time digesting things, so indigestion. You can have rashes showing up, itchy skin. When we have a lot of itchy skin, obviously you always want to address the physical aspects. It's not always a one or the other. Sometimes it's a mixture of things. So maybe you are super dry. Maybe you do need more, hydration. Maybe you need more minerals in your diet so that your skin isn't so dry and brittle. It could be those signs, but oftentimes when we experience itchy skin out of nowhere as an ascension symptom, it is our body going through a crystallization. So when our body starts to become more crystalline in nature, we have an itchiness. Now think about when you cut yourself and it scabs, that gets super itchy, right? So when your skin is super itchy and you have that, that scab is healing. And that's why it's itching. So you're literally witnessing, so when you feel that, remember you're going to have phases where you go through an expansion, your body gets hot, it gets bloated, it kind of gets bigger, even though you don't really gain any weight. Maybe you do. Maybe you retain a little bit more water. Your body's it's heating up. Your core temperature could be hotter. I know for me, I could chill at like 60 degrees right now and take cold showers every day because my core temperature has been so high. Not that I have a fever, just my core temperature has been high, been hotter. So it's just recognizing those things and recognizing that when that's happening, our body's like seriously breaking stuff down. You're going to be more tired. You're not going to want to eat as much, or you're going to have really weird cravings. And those cravings mean something as well. Like, this is why I'm telling you guys, the Energy Matrix, everybody should take the Energy Matrix. Change your life. Just learning how to read the body, just learning how to understand what those sensations are trying to communicate to us so we can best support our body. And when you have the itchiness, that's the signs of crystallization. There are times when I'm in the sunlight that I can see the crystals underneath my skin. It's really crazy. And sometimes I've done lives where you can really kind of see them on camera. So I've even had a lot of crystals being activated in my eyes lately. So just notice where you have inflammation, where you may have skin rashes, where you may be feeling hotter than normal. You can have flu-like symptoms, of course, with any ascension. You can actually physically get sick too. So everybody's going to purge differently. So if you get sick next week, don't beat yourself up. Be like, oh, awesome. My body is physically releasing what it no longer needs. And that means I need to have a head cold for a couple of days, or that means I'm going to have a headache for a couple of days. Whatever it is, know that your body is conspiring to be in harmony with yourself. And that is super important. Your body is always trying to come into harmony. Your energy is always trying to come into to energy or harmony. And that will do it through cravings, right? So if you're craving sugar, what does that mean for you? If you're craving greasy food, what does that mean to you? If you're craving meat, what does that mean to you? Hi, Lynn. Hi, Paulina. So it's a matter of you listening to your body speaking and going, okay, it doesn't necessarily mean you need to eat sugar. Remember, vitamin C is the closest molecule, almost identical to sugar. It's not always about you eating that thing to bring your body into harmony, but recognizing that you're having a craving and that your body's out of harmony. So if it's feeling something, you're out of harmony. There's going to be a lot of shifts between, they're bringing this in right now, so let's go there. There's going to be a lot of shifts between people having, so they're showing me the shoulders. So it's like there's this energy of responsibility, and there's people that are right on this cusp of making some life-altering decisions, but they have some conflict arising in the energy of responsibility. So meaning maybe if I do this, it's irresponsible, or maybe I feel like I can't do this. I need to do this because that's what you're supposed to do, because that's responsibility. So kind of really noticing where you're not taking responsibility for your state of being and your reality, and where you're doing things out of responsibility. So there's going to be an interesting shift that's happening over the next 2 weeks with that. And we're going to also see this play out on the world stage. So the world stage is going to continue to heat up and have these ridiculous things. I don't even really know what's going on too much. I have to kind of check in because I don't really see the world in that lens anymore. But not getting distracted or pulled in by what's happening in the world. What you see is based upon what you believe. So if you get yourself sucked into something, find yourself getting sucked into something happening on the world stage, arguing with people about beliefs, right or wrong, good or bad, any of those things, just notice that that's coming up. That's an aspect of you that needs to be seen. That's some energy where you can put a little love and attention on, and kind of helping you to pull back and not get triggered. You know, I shared today in a short, in one of my little reel videos, I've been spending more time in the new earth frequencies, living there. And what I can tell you is it's not that the world is different. It's more vibrant. There's more depth. Even when weird shit show stuff is happening, you're in more peace. You're in more joy. You're less triggered. You're like, okay, this is just what's happening. And you become more like, I'm on a ride. This is the vacation of a lifetime. And am I going to let this stupid thing ruin it? Or am I going to let the external affect my internal state of being? And, I'm working on embodying the new earth frequencies to be my permanent stable foundation. And so when I find my cracks, when I find my potholes, it's not a bad thing. It's not always comfortable, but it's an opportunity for me to reclaim that aspect of me, to integrate it. And that is through non-judgment. That is through loving that part of me. It's seeing, hearing, being there for that part of me. So it's a super pivotal time. And a lot of us are, if you're feeling pressure around doing something, you really need to start examining. So this next week, pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to synchronization, and be present as much as you can. Pay attention to your downloads. Create that space for yourself. Create, every couple of hours, a 5-minute stop where you just sit in silence and just chill. Really create that space for yourself this week. It's going to be super important. That's interesting. So he says, oh my God, you were sure I've been seeing the geo grid lines when I close my eyes, mostly in the morning, just after waking. I have one of my clients who's actually on here. She's a personal development student who has been working with the earth grid lines. You're probably just a grid worker and helping to clear and clear the density of the planet, assist Gaia Sophia and clearing that out. A lot of us, I anchor light. That's something that I do. It literally feels like when it's happening, it literally feels like my feet have opened up and they have turned on faucets. It literally feels like I have water flowing out my feet. And that's how I know I'm anchoring light. It was happening all morning. And it doesn't matter where I am, or even if I'm like, I could be out in the weather, in the world, sitting in a restaurant, and all of a sudden it will turn on. It just means I'm anchoring light in a certain space. Sometimes I'll get hot with it too. Good, I'm glad you guys are resonating. I agree with you, I'm the same. I am so balanced. I have such a balanced energy of masculine and feminine. People always get tripped out. Like when I do have readings from other people are like, oh my God, your energy is so balanced. But it really is. I'm torn between loving earth and nature. And this is probably why I don't ever want, like, part of the shift in me from wanting to no longer be here and to just choosing it was because the experience of land, when you're conscious of it, the experience of land, the experience of sunsets, the experience of trees, I get giddy just thinking about it. The feeling and the information that I get when the wind blows through blows through me. When I hear the wind moving through the trees, it's speaking to me. When I'm at the ocean, it's like I'm communicating, and I can feel it in a way like it feels like I never want to forget this. It's literally the things that, like, it just brings me to life, honestly. And then I also have these moments where, it's no secret that I'm woo-woo, that I am big into bringing the higher frequencies into my body and into this earth. I know a lot of teachers who astral travel and go there, like, that's cool. That's what they're here to do. For me, I'm here to bring the higher frequencies into my human life so that I can have, like, the most kick-ass life there is, even if it doesn't look like what society deemed us to be. But there's that part of me that when I'm around my aliens, when I'm around my team, this is so funny. I have to bring this up. So I just started dating. I just started putting myself out there after 2 years. And the reason why I did was not because I felt like I needed somebody. I actually started getting super comfortable with being alone and super happy with just chilling with my peeps that nobody else can see. And I was like, I really think I need some humans in my life because I enjoy it so much. I enjoy learning and bringing the remembrance through of the cosmos and our bigger universal truth. Like, I enjoy bringing that wisdom from deep inside of me, the Andromedan that is me, bringing that wisdom out into the world and sharing it for who's interested in it. I love talking about the stars and the things that we can do and have done and all. It's just, when I was a child, I wanted to be an astronaut. I got astronaut food for Christmas, and I was so excited when people would talk about aliens coming, because I'm like, yes, come to my door. Like, I will take you to get ice cream. Please. People talk about abductions. If they showed up at my door, I'd be like, where have you been? Let's go. Like, let's do this. So it is a split. You feel that. And so the very best thing you can do, if that's who you are, is to bring as much of that woo experience, those frequencies, into this life and kind of marry them together and enjoy it. A lot of people don't. She says she loves the woo-woo too. A lot of people think it's weird, and they think it's witchy or whatever. Well, I think anything has the potential to be magical, and it's just about enjoying the experience. So whatever you enjoy, whatever you want your experience to be, rock it out. Enjoy it. But last night, sitting at a fire, watching the fire, seeing the stars, the sunset as I was driving into town, the fire in the sky, like, I don't know. It's those things you just can't create. We can't make it happen. And I think that's been the biggest blessing for me over the last month and a half of me consciously working every day to embody my Andromedan aspect, is that a switch happened where the littlest things bring me the most joy in a way that they never did before. Like, I just took them for granted, and I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to take anything for granted. I want to enjoy the sunsets and the sunrises. I want to enjoy the wind blowing through my hair. I want to enjoy my delicious mud water and all the different tastes and scents. And I want to enjoy a child's laughter and silliness. And I want to enjoy a fire and the crackle and all the colors and the warmth. And when I eat something, I want to savor the tastes, and I want to savor the smells and how it felt when I was eating it. I want to slow down and be in my experiences more than I ever have before. And I think that is the key here, is we are moving towards the collective being in the new earth frequencies. But for it to be a collective experience for more of the world stage, it means that more of us have to take that leap. More of us have to take that journey into the uncertainty and walk in faith, because that's your collective experience means that it shows you the majority of where people are and where the collective belief system, right? So in order for those to change, each individual person has to take responsibility. The government is not responsible for the way that our world is right now. Yes, they have played a huge part in control and manipulation, absolutely. But we each hold a responsibility in how we operate and what we do. Everything you do and speak is vote for more of the same. So if you don't like what you see, you got to change the way you be. It's just that simple. That's part of the other piece of responsibility that I was feeling, though, is taking responsibility and saying, I'm a part of the problem, or I can be a part of the solution. And it doesn't mean I have to be like Johanna or someone else teaching or doing it. Just me doing this work for myself behind closed doors is enough. It's enough. You just have to listen and be guided, So anyway, the conversation, you guys, today. So does anyone have any other questions or anything that they've been feeling is coming for them, or anything that they've been feeling that they want to ask me before we wrap this up? So again, next week, the very best thing that you can do, really the next 2 weeks, but the next week will probably be the most intense, is be adaptable. Flow like water. Whatever comes in, embrace it. Oh, thank you so much for time-stamping that. I appreciate it. Embrace it. Accept what is, that is already in front of you, because the faster you do, the faster the solution will also come to you. Because remember, the problem cannot exist without the solution. And the solution has to exist even though there's a problem. That is what duality is. It's knowing that they both exist. And that's why I'm always talking about living in totality, is knowing When we live in totality, we know that there is not a problem without a solution, that there isn't an ending without a beginning. And so we don't see it as a dark or light, a right or wrong. We see it as opportunities. We see it as experience. So be adaptable. Be willing to detox your body, your environment, your relationships, to be mindful of what you're ingesting, what you're digesting, and listen to your body. Listen to your body. Oh, thank you. He said, I'm just wanting to say that I'm incredibly grateful for you and your voice and perspective. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So if anyone else has any other questions, making sure no one on TikTok has any questions, I think that's where we're going to, I feel pretty complete. The activation stopped a little while ago. I literally heard activation complete in my head. So after this, know that you guys have received whatever you needed to receive. It might be saved in your energy field. You might be downloading it today. You might be downloading it 2 weeks from now. So just know that drinking lots of lemon water, listening to your body, paying attention to your dreams, and just really allowing for whatever's going to be coming for you to come for you. And remembering that intensity is not bad. We can have very good, positive, intense experiences. And sometimes we have to be taken by surprise. Remember that. Again, if you knew how the story was going to end, you would not be motivated to keep going. You wouldn't. You wouldn't be motivated. You'd be like, oh, well, I already know where I'm going. Right? This is kind of one of the reasons why I stopped doing psychic readings, was because telling people sometimes slowed people down. So sometimes if you know the ending or you know what's coming, you're not going to make the decision that you needed to make, so they kind of have to take you by surprise. So if you get taken by surprise, just be like, okay, let the ride begin. I'm going to relax. I'm going to be the kid screaming down the slide in joy and happiness, not the one gripping onto the side screaming like I'm going to die. Either one is a choice. Whatever you choose to experience, know that that's okay. But you have a choice. You don't have to just be in one. So I love you guys. Thanks for hopping on this Saturday. Thank you for all the TikTok gifts. If you feel called to donate, my link is up there. If you feel called to jump into my course Reclamation, let me actually just drop that link in the comments. Remember, use the code HEART. Let me post it in here. The code is HEART, and you will get $356 off. Uh-oh, did I post it in there? What did I do? Code HEART. And this, again, it ends on the tomorrow, Sunday the 13th. So if you feel called to that, if you don't, that's cool too, but it's there. It's an option for you for my little Valentine's Day special. But either way, you guys got some good knowledge today and something that you guys can use to move forward and something tangible to help you. So I hope that that was useful for you, and I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.